Yeah, right. We're over here like live broadcasting, break the law, break the law. What's going on,
Dude, for
everybody?
real.
Zach ROI Williams back with another one of my free consulting calls that we like to push live because the ultimate objective is that let's lead with impact. So our guinea pig today is none other than the man, the myth, the legend behind the lens, Adam Cooper. This man is
Yes,
with
sir.
Creative Customs. For those of you who don't know how these operate, I try my best to pretend like it is a actual client consulting call. So I try to pretend not to know these guys and some of the history, or people rather. So today we got Adam Cooper on. So go ahead and introduce yourself, kind of let us know who you are and what you do. And I'm going to jump into this, bro.
Hell yeah. What is
Adam.
up, guys? I am Adam Cooper. I'm the owner and founder of Creative Customs FL. I am a graphic designer and photographer. So essentially, what I do is I will take a company that is pretty much starting out, or even that is been in business for a while, and I will brand their entire company from the ground up. So anything from logo design to business cards to vehicle wrap design to shirts, hats, literally every single thing to brand a business and give yourself an image, because we all need an image to make ourselves kind of stand apart from the competition and to make yourself one of a kind. Because if you're not one of a kind, you're not really going to stick out against the crowd. And then with the photography portion, I literally do everything. Everything from families, couples, weddings, events, auto photography, product photography, every single thing that you can think of. I tend to not really say no to things, because if you're saying no to things, I feel like you're not really growing as a creator and as someone who should be in the creative space, at least dipping your toes in everything you can to kind of see what you like and see what you don't like.
No doubt. Awesome. Well, out of
So
what you've
that's it.
done, have you been able to figure out what it is that you do like?
Yeah. So I mean, the biggest things I think are great for me. As you can see, if you follow my Instagram, I do a lot of the big truck shows, and a lot of the big trucks. So the biggest thing for me is really just like traveling to these shows and booking photo shoots before the shows. Um, that way, it gives me time to. I can kind of set everything up and make sure that I make my own schedule, but like I get to travel for free at that point. So I think that's really, I think that's the best thing for me, is getting to travel essentially for free, and getting to meet new people, getting to have new experiences, and really getting to see the world through like a different kind of point of view.
No, for sure, for sure. And for those of you who are tuning in, I know we for sure got Stu on here. I don't know who Facebook user is. Unfortunately, when you pop in and start commenting, typically inside of a group, it doesn't show your name. But if you comment on the main feed on my Facebook profile, it does. I don't know. It's a weird StreamYard
Yeah.
Facebook. But anyways, no, that's cool. All right, so like, let's take that into consideration. And I think this is healthy advice for anyone and everyone listening. Um, First and foremost, like, everyone is different, and you'll see all these fucking Facebook gurus, business coaching gurus, that'll tell you hardcore one direction or hardcore the other direction. And in all
Yeah.
honesty, what's up, Julian? In all honesty, you got to figure out what works for you, because there's two conversations to be had. The conversation A is do what you love, right? And doing what you love, it fulfills a certain part of us that allows us to I guess be fulfilled, right? But
Yeah. 100%.
also, you're in Uncaged. So in Uncaged, we talk specifically about like the relationship to being a man and our roles, and a little bit deeper dive into those emotions and what we got to think of. But as a man, it's fucking all great and all to do what you love, but at the end of the day, you still got to provide for either yourself, your family,
Yeah.
dependents, whatever the case is. So like, there is a level that like you've got to be able to make ends meet there too. So there is a financial pillar there. So like for me, when I consult with people, I try my best. I want everyone to be in a lane that they love, right? I want everyone to experience that. Also, we do need to keep the lights on, right? Because otherwise, if we can't keep the lights on, how else are you going to continue being able to do what the fuck you love? So, with that being said, I love the idea of the truck shoots. I think that's a great option. I'm probably going to dive into a little bit of conversation that I had previously had with actually another Uncaged member, but a consult that I was working. So he's big in the side by side space, and similar. He's in the creative space. He shoots videography with drones, and what we were trying to do is to produce a $10,000 day for him. And I believe it's very, very possible for him, as well as someone like yourself, when you go to these truck shows, because whether it be photography or videography, and again, I'm going to kind of pretend like I don't know you. So for me, I would like to, ask, like, do you shoot any videography, or do you have capabilities of doing that, adding that as an add-on, whether that's with you or an added lens, an added shooter? Like, what's your capacity there?
Yeah, so usually whenever I'm shooting the trucks, I give them 3 packages, like 3. So I try to get packages so people can kind of pick what works best for their budget. Because some people are kind of getting by, or some people just are doing very well, so they have money to kind of throw around and get content. So I do like stills for $250. I do stills and rollers for $350, and then stills, rollers, and video for $500. So I have the capacity to do the video. Usually, like, with the photos, you get like 40 photos, and then you'll get like 1 or 2 reels whenever you get that package. So I think in all, it probably takes me about an hour, maybe a little bit over an hour, to do the whole video and photo process, depending on what kind of creative idea that we put together. So I like to offer that because I'm still learning the video portion. So my rates aren't the highest right now because I'm still learning to do the excessive type of video. Obviously, my rates are going to go up once I'm to that level to where I feel comfortable of charging $300 to $400 for a video. But I would rather start a little bit lower, just because I want to get the knowledge and all the creative ideas out there, and then be able to be like, hey, this is all the things I produced. Here's what we can do, and here's the different packages. So I'm starting off just a little bit low because the photo side is perfect. I'm 100% good on the photo side, but video, I kind of just want to keep diving in more and make sure that my quality is top notch, because that's what I care about. I care about the quality.
100%. So with that being said, so stills are stills. We obviously know what that looks like, and it's all going to depend on how many different locations you're shooting. Rollers, obviously, we add in an additional amount of time there, which is obviously there for $100 extra, but we got to take into consideration how much time that pulls away from you shooting like another set of stills. And then also, I'm with you on the reels, so on the reels, that's going to add another $150 there, which is a hell of a value, to be honest. So like,
I agree.
My question to you is, what are you doing prior to these 2 questions? So the first one, and the first one real quick, is, on average, how many truck owners are you seeing on an average at each one of these events?
It really depends on the size of the show, but I would say typically maybe around 300 trucks, probably about around 300 like truck owners. And then obviously, of course, you have the brands and the vendors and stuff out there too. And then I also have like build teams to where like they manage like truck builds, to where like they'll send me over their clients and be like, hey, go book with this photographer because this is like our sole photographer. So like the show I have coming up in Atlantic City, he has 20 trucks in his booth alone. So that's 20 potential customers.
Well, all right. So he does the builds for these?
Yes.
All right. So here's how we work this, because have you ever booked 20 trucks in one show?
No, not yet. I've probably done about, I think my largest was 11.
Okay. So here is what I would offer you. I would suggest for you. I would build a relationship with that vendor to either pay for all the 20 truck builds himself at a discounted rate to go ahead and lock them all in. And what you would do is offer him let's say the 250 steels. Maybe you offer that to him at 200, right? So you lock him in to shoot all.
So
go ahead.
Yeah, so we actually already have an agreement. So I give him my prices, and then I give him. He sends the people over a message, be like, "Hey, get with this photographer. Go book with him," and then they'll book through me, and I'll put them on my list, and then I give him, I believe it's like $75 or something per vehicle. So he puts my name out there to go say, "Hey, go book with this person," because he's like our team photographer. It's not necessarily a discounted rate, but it's my like typical rate, but I just give him some off the top for giving me that client essentially.
Right.
So we already have that worked out with that one team. And I'm trying to get in with like more build teams and stuff like that.
Yeah, I would definitely. So I always, encourage to buy the cow, not the milk, right? So the individual truck builds would be your milk, so to speak, but your shops that build the trucks, that's the cow. So I would definitely look at how many different builders you can get in contact with, and what I would try to do. So here's where you've got to I'm not going to say change your mindset, because I don't know what your mindset is on this, but this is where your mindset needs to be, is put yourself in the shoes of this builder.
Yeah.
This builder's more concerned about landing this next 6-figure truck build than he is getting a measly $75 kickback. Now, I'm obviously not saying that as a negative way to you. So what do you do to help increase your opportunity for close rate? You come to this guy and you let him know, hey, this is what I do. Obviously, y'all have a pre-existing relationship. So you're like, hey, this is what I do. This is how we operate. This is everything that I'm able to offer. And these are the benefits that it's going to bring you. Then you politely ask,
that's how I sell it.
Okay, for the contact information to all these truck drivers, and put it in the light of that way you can schedule these all accordingly. Then you go ahead and you introduce yourself to these people, let them know who you are, and let them know what your options are. Now, for me, I think that you should present an option where you start off with showcasing, like before you ever talk about your prices, I don't think you need to lead with your prices. I need you to show the type of content that you produce, right? So pick out like maybe 5 or 10 of your favorite stills, 5 or 10 of your favorite rollers, and 5 or 10 of your favorite reels, and showcase those and get these people to mentally and emotionally buy into the work that you do. Now, I would also, truck driver got my attention. Don't know who you are, but damn right.
So Zach, on that point, so what I actually do is everything is usually through Instagram. So everybody already sees my work whenever they get in contact with me. They already go to my page, and my page is pretty much filled with a bunch of trucks and all that stuff. So they already get to see my work. But with like putting together something, I think that would actually be a really good advertisement, like a paid advertisement, to showcase to that show demographic of like, hey, here's some stills, here's some rollers, here's a few videos, and maybe do like a sponsored ad or something on that to like hit more of the demographic that doesn't know me.
No, for sure. Well, so here, and this is going to be counter. Oh, Josh Perry, what's up, bro? This is probably counterintuitive to some of the stuff that I get paid to do. But in my personal opinion, I would start with this sequence that I'm talking about. And for me, If I were you, I would take the conversation off of Instagram, just because DMs get muddy. Also, you don't know exactly who you're talking to. Josh Perry said that we could advertise this on his platform, lamehero.net. So we'll put you guys into contact too. So I would approach the builders, get them to provide you a list with all of their trucks that they know are going to be their truck owners. I would get those phone numbers, and I would start the conversation either via phone call or text, eventually send them to your Instagram, but you want a higher quality conversation. If we were to tier how these conversations come in priority, think about your own life. In person is obviously top. Outside of that is phone call and or arguably text message, depending on people's personalities. Then it's in the DMs, right? So you're a professional. We're having legitimate conversations. We're not spamming them, because we're saying, hey, builder so-and-so said that, he wanted this truck shot. He told me to go ahead and introduce the conversation to you. And then you can have a conversation on whether or not it's more beneficial for that truck builder to receive the kickback or offer a discount to his truck build owners, right? So like you would take that $75 off the price. So instead of charging $250, collecting $250 from the fucking truck owner, giving a $75 kickback. For me personally, I would assume all rights to be able to reuse this content's worth more than $75 for me if I'm a truck shop owner. So I would say instead of that, just offer that $250 package for $175 to my truck dealer as a exclusive offer for added value of having one of my trucks. Now there's added value because they're getting discounts. They're going to feel more, they're going to feel that law of reciprocity there. But then what you do is once you land all these truck builds and you collect all those truck builds, I would take part of those proceeds and go sponsor the fucking event itself to get yourself in there, make an introduction to the actual truck event owners and say, hey guys, if y'all give me a shout out and send people to me to book, I will give you all the rights to reshare my photography and videography to your people. I will also get a few extra exclusive to you guys event photos showcasing how badass your events are, because now, we talked about the cow and the milk. Now you're not even going after the cow, you're going over the fucking farm owner. So now you're really setting yourself apart and establishing yourself as the go-to photographer. I promise you, bro, if you start doing that, and these conversations start now, like before you ever get on site, like start pre-booking them.
Yeah, so you know what's funny? That's actually what's been happening. It's funny that you bring it up because that is what's been happening. Because next year, my plan is to go to these shows and be a vendor at these shows, because I take the photos on the spot and print them out right on the spot. So what I've been working out is like, hey, I'm taking these photos either way. You can give me a free booth and I'll take all these photos. I'll make my money, but you get all of my content at the end of the day. So that's how I've been selling it, because either way, I'm taking photos. I can't. There we go. All right. So I'm either way, I'm taking the photos and I have to edit them because I'm printing them out and selling them. So it makes so much sense for them to just give me a booth. It doesn't really take a lot away from them, but they get photos at the end of the show. And they also get a photographer who's coming out there and printing photos right at their booth, which 100%. I've told so many people about this idea, and they're like, dude, nobody's doing that. They're like, you're going to do really well. And like before this show this weekend, I've already sold 12. I've already pre-sold 12 prints at $30 a pop. So this is my first truck show that I've done. And I think every show that I do, I've sold 20 plus prints. It does well. But yes, what you're saying is go to the show owners and be like, hey, this is what I offer, this is what I can do. You can get content from this. A lot of the people already have like official media to where like they'll pay them like a day rate for them to go out and stuff like that. But with my end of things, I mean, I've been getting a lot higher ranked in like the truck scene itself. So a lot more people have been noticing my work, and I just hit 5,000. So 5,000 followers on Instagram. So a lot more people have been taking interest in my stuff. And like, I also offer the graphic design. So a lot of people I get hooked up with because I do all their event show flyers, their event logo. I do all their event, just every single thing for their event. So then I can also go in and do their photography, and because I'm doing the design work, I'm doing the photos. So at the end of the day, I'm hitting two birds, one stone. Um, so with me doing what I do, it's been working really well for the truck scene. Obviously, the truck scene is not going to last forever. Like we've talked about before, is like I want to travel and I want to. It doesn't even matter how much I make, because if I can make ends meet, I can be happy and I can pay my bills and have shit in my pocket for to do what I need to do. I'm cool. I'm cool with that. But like my main thing is wanting to travel and meet these people, have new experiences, and really just do what I love, which is photography. And then
Well,
at some point, I'll go ahead.
so obviously I'm supposed to pretend like I don't know you on these conversations, so I'm gonna try. Well, so like you've already proved the concept. So like I'm
Yeah.
friends with a lot of people that sell high-end watches. They sell the Rolex, they sell Petites, they sell APs, they sell, I mean, we're talking, anywhere from $50,000 watches to $500,000 watches.
Yeah.
They don't sell, and they make good money on these flips. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I've seen these dudes make upwards of 50 G's on a single flip of a watch. It's insane.
Jesus.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you're talking about $250,000 plus,
Yeah.
but a lot of them, even on the smaller end, will make $1 to $5 grand on a flip of a smaller, a bigger Rolex or something like that. But regardless, they're not really even doing the high end luxury watches to make the money. It's the
Yeah.
people that can afford that, right? So when you're out here,
No.
dealing with people that can afford fucking 6-figure builds, $200,000 trucks, you're now establishing relationships with the people that can afford to fly a photographer out. You're establishing relationships to where people know that you're the authority in your field because you're a badass photographer. So if I were you, and again, the reason I brought up pretending like I don't know you, like, let's look at the conversation with Mariah. And I don't know which came first, the chicken or the egg, but did you start shooting her truck content first and then it transitioned to travel, or did that relationship start outside of the vehicles?
Yeah, so I actually I met her boyfriend. I think it was probably about 2 years ago in Daytona. And then I took some cool photos of his truck, and then I actually saw her in Vegas at the middle of that year, and she was about to start her company. So I was like, hey, I can do all your business branding. I can do everything for you. So it's funny. I started with design, and then design led me into doing everything for her, helping like come up with a name, doing all the like the logo design, the shirt designs, everything. And then it led to doing all her photos, and then just connecting with everybody in the scene. So it's cool because photography and design go hand in hand with
100%.
everything.
But the part of that is the relationships. Like, you know what I mean? So like, I think that the truck scene is a great way to start introducing yourself, especially because as you start establishing more and more relationships with these, not only the truck builders who also have a plethora of other services that you could provide them, but also these events. Those people know a lot of these truck builders, shop owners, merchandise, all their sponsors, all their merchants and stuff like that. So for you, I would consider getting a website or a series of landing pages set up. Have one for truck owners that want those $250, $350, $500 packages, and have it set up a certain type of way. I would have one set up for truck builders, the shop owners, and have it set up a certain exclusive way. Then I would have one set up for the event owners and have it set up a certain type of way. And then even arguably I would have one set up for to purchase your prints too, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So I
Huh.
definitely think that would
So
be a good route. Go ahead.
yeah, so to counter that, would I be able to do like maybe one sort of website to where you can do a drop down menu and say, hey, I'm a truck builder, I'm a truck owner, or I am the owner of an event. So that way they can pick and it gives them each a category. I actually really love that idea because then it can maybe go into a calendar type of app, and all they have to do is schedule is pick a date, pick a time, and they can put down like a deposit to secure their spot through. Yeah, actually, I really love that idea because then I'm not doing everything manually,
No.
which takes so much time out of my day, and that's also something that I need to look into is start automating things to where I'm not taking so much time out of my day to just book and schedule and talk back and forth, stuff like that.
No, it would be completely automated with your and essentially the way you would set it up too, and you could even depending on how much money this starts turning in, I would even consider saying that we would do like you would have one standard funnel system set up, and then for every event you went to, you could kind of customize those landing pages to be event specific. So match colors, match dates,
Yeah.
and stuff like that. Because then those calendars you could set up to where, like, instead of a completely open calendar, it was times and dates exclusive to that weekend. So that way, and you could break that down. So, say for example, if they wanted the 250 still package, I'm just making these numbers up. That's going to take you from beginning to end. That's going to take you 1 hour. So that can be purchased in 1 hour blocks. The stills and rollers, that's going to take you an hour and a half. So then that's broken down into hour and a half blocks. And then the stills, reels, and rollers, that's 2 hours. So that's in 2 hour blocks. So people can literally go on there, not a fucking deposit, dude. This is for serious people. We're collecting it all up front, and they pay before they can even schedule their slot. But once they pay, they can pick their slot, and everything's handled completely automated. Maybe it sends them a contract that's signed by you that gives them permission to use these images however they like, whatever the case is, all that could be automated. But to your point, yes, the website could have like drop downs like, hey, are you an event owner? Are you a shop owner? Or are you a truck owner? And they could select that. But theoretically, these conversations are being had. It's not necessarily just complete organic or paid traffic. Like, this is relationships you're building. So as you start having a conversation with someone and you find out they're a truck owner, you send them directly to the truck owner landing page. So they don't get confused with anything. You're talking to an event owner, you send them straight. It would be like creativecustomsfl.com/shop owner, creativecustomsfl.com/event owner. So you're sending them to these pages exclusively to get the content that they need. They don't need to get confused about anything else. If you're trying to close a fucking event, you don't need them getting confused about buying a fucking $30 fucking print from you. You need them to straight to the point, see exactly who you are, what you do. And I would even say, this is typically my day rate. Let's call it $3,000, whatever the case is. But I'm willing to not charge you that if you give me a free vendor booth, you add me as a sponsor, and you give me a shout out on your social media and at the event, and give me your email list, right?
Yes.
Because you could even book post.
That's true.
You could even book post events like, hey, these are all the shots I got at the event. If you want prints of any of these, let me know. If you want to fly me out to shoot your truck or your shop exclusively, here's my rates for that. Travel plus XYZ expenses. Here's what those packages look like. But that would definitely be how you squeeze the most amount of juice out of that for sure.
Yeah. I love that idea. That's a really good idea, and that's probably something I'll talk to you about on adding onto my website. Because then if people want to book with me, I'll just say, hey, here's the landing page for this specific thing, go to the website, go sign up, go pick your time slot, and go pay it.
Yep.
So that way it's all done. Everything gets automated into a calendar for me, and I don't have to keep putting shit in my notes and doing stuff like that.
No, it'll go straight. It'll book itself into your calendar. It'll automatically, they'll automatically charge them. They'll automatically get that invoice, that paid invoice sent to them so that they can write it off on their taxes. And this is another level of, of offer for you designing your offer is everything that you do for them can be written off on their taxes. So
yeah, that's why I tell people.
Yeah, so it's either you're going to pay Uncle Sam to not do jack shit for you and give all your money to Ukraine, or you can give your money to me and you'll get marketing advertisement pieces from it. So,
that's a big way to sell it, because if you tell people it's a write-off, they're like, oh, okay, they can just pay with their business account and it doesn't even matter. And they don't care.
100%.
Yeah, because and then also another way I sell it is like, hey, sponsors they need like pictures and material for them to also post you up, get your exposure, and get better things for your truck builds. So that's also another way to sell it too, is because sponsors want good quality content.
100%.
So I think that's a really good idea. I'm going to definitely talk to you about that, on how to add that onto my website, because I need stuff that's just more automated, and even do like a Shopify type of thing to where, hey, I took this photo, maybe do it like how the drag racers do it, where they upload everything like after the weekend, and then you can go in and pick your photo and buy a print right from there. I have the system on that from my picture gallery, but it's not the easiest thing to upload and everything like that.
And honestly, too, to be honest, all right, let's see here. Here's another option. You said there's 300? There's 300 trucks that are going to be there?
Yeah.
So here's another option. Now, I'm not saying you're going to have 100% close rate, but it's possible.
Yeah.
So if you were able to have 100% close rate and sell prints to every truck owner, that's going to put you at about $9,000 for the day. Now, here's a way that you can do that. You would need additional team members on site to help you with this.
Yep, I got that.
Okay, because what I would consider is hitting like day one, hit all 300 of these fucking trucks.
Yes.
And have business cards with a QR code on the back that says go buy your prints and go buy your print and your digital copies, and you can pick it up at my booth tomorrow. Now it's going to be one hell of a day for you, because you're going to spend all day shooting 300 trucks, editing those trucks and posting them on the website for purchase. But then what you could do is you could hit all 300 trucks, just strictly steals at this point. And then you could have, hey, buy one fucking print for $30, buy 10 for 100, and then get all your digital copies for 100 or something like that. So now instead of taking your time exclusively away from everyone for $250 per shot, you're taking an opportunity of jamming out, which will take you about an hour and a half of your time. But now you go smash all 300 of these. You now get the opportunity to fucking close all these at a much smaller rate. But the time associated to you shooting these steals, would probably be fucking 5 to 10 minutes per. I don't know what that
no, honestly, that's probably about what it is. So the system that I'm trying to do for these shows is I'm going to be at the booth editing, and I'm going to have my buddy go out, take the photos, come drop them back to me, and then the good ones that I like, I'll print them off, frame them, and they'll go show them to the truck owner and be like, hey, I'm selling this for $30 a frame photo. And usually everybody's like, oh, dude, they're like, all right, let's go pay for it. And then another system like the business cards, I've thought about that. Be like, have on the front, be like, hey, I captured your vehicle, and then on the back it'll have a QR code, and they can come find me at my booth, and just stick it in like their window or something like that.
Yeah, just be like, have like a sick ass shot of like an example of what one of your stills look like on the front with a
Yes. Yeah.
big white caption on it that says, "I just took your truck's pictures," and then like in a small subheading say, "Scan the QR on the back to check them
Yep.
out or to get more information about how to find them," and
Yeah.
then because that way you can jam out a couple of hundred of those deals, and then you can always upsell them. So you can sell the digitals, you can sell the small 8x10 prints or whatever size you're printing, 6x9, 8x10, whatever. But then you
Yeah.
can also say, hey, I sell these on canvases and stuff like that too. So like, if you were able, let's just say, for example, you were able to land
Yeah. So I might.
how many $250 jobs can you land in one day? Can you handle shooting in one day at a truck show?
I would say $250 jobs. I could probably knock out 10 to 15 if I'm fucking hustling. Because I can knock out a photo shoot in 45 minutes, 45 minutes. If I'm doing like one to two locations.
So 2,500 to what is that? 3,750.
Yeah. And then what I'm doing too is I'm selling the frame prints for 30, and I'm selling the frame print plus the digital image for 40.
Okay.
So it's no extra work, and I make 10 extra bucks on it.
Right.
Because if they want to post on Instagram, then they can buy that image for Instagram.
Okay. Because part of my mind kind of goes to saying, all right, you can bust your ass doing 10 to 15 of those, because obviously that's a busy fucking day, right?
Yes, that's a lot of work.
And only creating 10 or 15 relationships to try in the mass production route where you go shoot every fucking one of these trucks and you close. If you could squeeze a $500 deal out of those, you're doing the same amount of time, and it's only going to take you 5 of those relationships. And that's because they bought the print, they bought the fucking digitals, they went ahead and upgraded to a canvas or something like that. And you're talking about, if you landed 5 of those and were able to bump them all up, you're talking about, fuck, bro, what percentage of that is 300? It's fucking a very small percent, so the opportunity for you, and there's nothing to say that you can't do both. So
exactly. So if I sell them a print, they might be more likely to book a full photo shoot with me. Be like, oh, dude, this is badass. Let's set up a full photo shoot. So then hit both markets.
Right. Well, not only that, but if you took a second shooter, like you said, so you do these package deals with the private shoots, but you've got a second shooter that goes and does the mass shots of all the trucks, right? So you take someone, you pay them their day rate for $500 to go hang out with you for the day to shoot fucking cool trucks and to learn from you, or maybe they just do it to learn from you. You teach them the framing, you teach them what they need. They go shoot every one of the trucks and leave a postcard. That sends people back to you, but you're already pre-booked shooting your private sessions, so you land all that. So when you come back, and my recommendation too would be to have an editor with you all day too, to pre-edit a majority of his stuff. Now, I know that your skill set is in the editing, but there's a lot of stuff that they could batch edit that could save you some time. So
yeah, I can just make a preset for that day. I'll just take a few photos in the morning, make a preset for that day, because every day is kind of different, and then that way they can know what it's supposed to look like. Because that's kind of what I do with him. Is he just goes and takes pictures of every vehicle that's coming in and is also at their spot, and then he'll just kind of dump the photos every now and again to me, so that way I can go through them and be like, oh, I know this dude. Let me print this out and go sell it to him real quick.
Yep. So what I would do is have a second shooter go shoot all the trucks on site while you personally are handling the private shoots. And then I would, so day one, let's say y'all jam all that out. Day two, you're either doing private shoots or you're going to try to land private shoots by taking some of these that were shot on day one, take it to the truck owner, show them the print, let them buy the print, and then go ahead and upzone them to the private shoot. And then obviously using the private all the truck shoots as a gateway drug to meet the owners and build a relationship to figure out what they do, because most people that can afford a $200,000 truck do some sort of cool shit.
Oh yeah, and the cool thing is a lot of them are business owners too.
Exactly.
So like the truck scene may seem weird to some people, but like, bro, I work my ass off, but I've made a very good amount of money just from the truck scene because I do the vehicle wraps, I do their business cards, I do their logo designs, I do their shirt designs, and then I also do their photos at like each show, because a lot of people do photos at each show that they go to. So I hit the market so well because I do both. I do the design and the photography. So it's worked out so well.
So what you need to do is when you set up you need to be collecting their name, phone number, and emails, because after the event, as like a thank you, you need to hit them again, because they may not have that money right then and there. But then you send them like a post-event thank you, like, yo, thank you so much. We had such a great time hanging out with y'all at Creative Customs. And maybe that's what you do. Maybe you give them a free digital copy to collect that information. Like, hey, if you go click this link and get and opt in, and I'll send you a digital copy of your vehicle. I'll give you access to your copy, a copy of one of your vehicle, and then that way you hit them back up as like a post-event thank you. It's like, thank you so much. We had a blast at Creative Customs hanging out with you guys after the event. Don't forget, we also do all the vehicle wraps for a lot of the trucks that were in the scene. We also design a lot of the banners and tents and any of the business advertisements. Okay. We also do the custom, clothing design, stuff like that. And you just give them a list of things that are going to be the most apt to speaking to those people. You hit them.
I agree. I really like that. And then also through the landing page, we can do that too. I can get all their information, and then after the show, be like, hey, thank you for booking with us, or hey, thank you for purchasing a print through us. Here's what we also offer. Let us know how we can help you. I think that's a really good idea, because I would assume that's what you do with a lot of the emails and stuff that you get from like people signing up. Then you can have that list of people that are your target audience, because those are the people who would be most likely to buy something from you.
Yeah, and a lot of times too, like these truck owners go to multiple trucks per year. So as you start building up this email list, now let's say you're going to this event this weekend, you could have sent an email that goes, yo, what's up? I'm not sure if you're going to be able to make it to this event, but is Adam from Creative Customs. I can't wait to fucking see you if you're coming. If you haven't yet, go ahead and get on my schedule. We fill up fast. Let's go ahead and get that private truck shot. So you start sending out a couple of hundred of these before every fucking event, bro. You're going to pre-sell 10 to 20 fucking spots, because these people want on your shit. They want on your calendar, bro. Like, they know you're the best. Not only that teaches them, that ingrains in them, fuck, man, I don't have the extra $250 for this event, but I'm gonna catch that motherfucker at this event because I know he'll be there. I'm gonna catch him at this next event. I'm gonna catch him at this next event. So now that's usually letting them know to save up an extra $250, $500 to get on your fucking schedule.
Yeah, and that's the best part too. Is usually when I shoot with somebody at a show, they honestly, a lot of the people, like I would say 80% of the people stick with me on shooting their content for the rest of the time, for like the rest of the shows that they go to, just because like I give a really good experience. I'm super personable. I make it fun. I make some jokes. I talk shit, but I also produce very, very high quality images. 100%. And like I'm just not some weirdo who just like in it for the money. Now I want to make a relationship. I want to have a good time. I want to hear your story. I'll give you my story, and then we'll take some badass photos that are good for your sponsors, and they're also good for me because it's my content too. Like I'm taking these photos for my content myself, so I can post it. So like I won't put out shit quality content because that's not who I am. That's not how I do business.
100%.
So that's definitely a good way of that. I've had people come back to me, and I really like the idea of a funnel system to where I can keep in contact with them because my toxic trait is probably not following up with people. That's my bro, that's my biggest thing. And it's not even following up with people. It's even just messaging them or getting that first impression out. Be like, hey, I'm gonna be at this show. Like sometimes I'm just so fucking busy to where I slack on that area of like reaching out to the people so they know I'm gonna be there.
Yeah. So
So
step
I like
one
that
is
idea.
get you a funnel. Step two is to get you an executive assistant, is what you're saying.
Bro, I need 3 more of me. It's
I don't know if I can help you there. I mean, for a couple of million, I'm sure we could figure it out.
shit. Let's get Bill Gates in this bitch. But no, I really like that idea because it'll just make my life more simple. And it creates the target audience that I need, because then I can send out some sort of system where it automatically sends them a message through a whole list or something like that. I'm sure you could put me in the right direction of doing that, to where it at least puts a bug in someone's ear, and either they come back through the funnel system or they just hit my email and be like, hey, we want to book with you. How can we get on the schedule? And then they go through the website, they go book, it's done.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, we can have conversations about how, and you may not need 3 of you once you automate a lot of this stuff, because a lot of this we could create sequences for the different car shows that are coming up. So what's the one that's coming up right now? It looks like you're getting a phone call.
Yeah, I got a phone call.
What's the name of the show that's coming up right now?
So this one is going to be the Beach Truck Invasion. So I got in with them because I did all their design work. Um, I pretty much branded the entire show. And
Yeah.
then he has an official media person, but I'm also going to be part of his media because, like I said, I'm taking the photos for the people there anyways.
Yeah.
So we traded out work. That's
Yeah.
kind of the best thing with me is like either way I'm taking photos.
Right.
So you can help yourself and give me like a good discount spot or give me a free spot, and you get photos. You get very
Yeah.
high quality photos that are already edited because I'm selling the photos.
Right. And so like what you could do with this automation is, as you start building up your email list, as
Yeah.
you could have created an automation for the beach truck invasion, and that automation, and you could have one for each individual show, and it could say like, hey, are you coming? And if they say yes or no, it either opts them out of that thread, or it keeps them in it. And
Yeah.
if they stay in it, then you could have a series of events that happen where it does a logic check to see if they've already booked for you. If they haven't booked with you, it stays dripping them some content. And we would create it to where it's more value. It's not just like, hey, book with me, hey, book with me, hey, book with me, hey, book with me. But it's added value of some really cool shit that
Yeah.
leads up to the event. But obviously, we'll have some calls to action to get on your schedule. And so if they get on your schedule, it gets them onto a whole nother drip, because what you may want to do is send them a list or instructions of like pre-photo shoot instructions. Like, obviously, like, make sure your fucking car's washed, make sure you've got, this done, make sure you're on time. If you're late, that digs into your own shoot. I'm not going to be responsible for pushing it back because that messes up my whole calendar. Like, you give them a list of pre-shoot instructions, and then there's a whole level of that. But then also on the other side of it, for the people who haven't booked with you yet, it can keep giving them some badass like pre-event content. Hey, be prepared for this. Hey, did you do this? Whatever. Here's some cool fucking pictures that I did. Hey, if you want any of these prints, here's how you do that, whatever the case is. But you can, each event, you can put like when the start date of that event is, and then all those like drip campaigns will go out at a certain precise time based on when the start of that event is. So that way, like, you could have it set up. So it's like, if it's set on this date, the event knows, hey, you got 24 hours left. I can't wait to see you at the, the beach invasion, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah,
So,
I really like that idea. I definitely, yeah, I'm gonna talk to you about that and start getting some stuff going for that because the truck shows are great. And then next year, like I said, I'm gonna be a vendor at a bunch of these shows. So I honestly feel like that next year I'm gonna blow up like a motherfucker. Which that's what I'm hoping because me hitting these shows and printing right on the spot is gonna get my name out everywhere.
Yeah.
And this is gonna be my first truck show this weekend. I've hit car shows before, but this is my first truck show, and I'm a lot more involved in the truck scene. So this is gonna give me a really good range of like what to expect because I have this one, and the next truck show I'm doing is like a 3-day truck show, which I'm working with them because I've done all their design work. I've done everything with them, so that's a lot bigger of an event to where I can get in and we can work something out, and that's going to be the true test of like how much I can really fit into like a 2 to 3 day like show because that's really good money. If I could make 4 or 5 grand on a weekend, I mean that's pretty fucking good.
No, for sure. I think you could probably make more than that if the
Yeah.
strategy's set up correct.
Yeah,
You know,
but also longevity of meeting these people too.
yeah,
Because then when we send out the messages, be like, "Hey, thanks for using us. Here's what we also do," and that's usually what comes back is, they want more than just photos because a lot of them are business owners.
yeah,
If you're building a $250,000 truck, you most likely are an entrepreneur. You have daddy's money, or like, or
yeah,
like you're doing something to where you have money to do other shit.
yep. No, I agree 100%, man. I think you're spot on, man. I think I mean, I think before the end of the year, you could be making, 10 to 15. And what I call, these truck shows, it is some of I'm not including like locking in, reoccurring like business,
Yeah.
B2B, but like the B2C level, I think you could definitely turn these into an average of $10,000 per show you go to for sure.
Yeah, as long as I hit it correctly, and maybe even in the future add like bigger things on to where like I have something else in the booth that I can offer like bigger things, or be like, hey, we can order this right on the spot if you want like a big canvas or something like that. To where
Yeah.
like I need to figure out the higher ticket items because that is obviously that's what's gonna be better.
Yeah.
The $30 in retrospect isn't really much. The profits are good, but you have to sell a lot of quantity. I want things where I don't have to sell as much quantity, where the profit margins are larger,
Right.
to where like I can make more at these shows and have more opportunities.
Agreed, 100%. We just gotta build out that value stack for you.
Yeah,
But I think you're well on your way, man.
dude, me too. I hope.
Shut the fuck up, bro. You already know.
We already know shit's happening.
Yeah.
It's gonna be great. Who
But
knows? Next weekend might change my life. I don't know.
yeah, hey, bro, you gotta go with you gotta go with the vision of it. You gotta have that strategy, like, cause if you're just going with no real goals, then it's hard to like stay focused on it. But versus if you go and it's like one of those things, right? And I forget what this phenomenon's called, but it's like, have you ever been like in a real crowded area and you're like talking to someone and then like that cuts through the noise, you hear someone say your name,
Yeah,
something. That's a specific like phenomenon, and I can't remember what it's called, but in the same concept, it's kind of relates to the Bader Madoff phenomenon, which is like you've never seen a yellow truck before, but you buy a yellow truck and now you see them everywhere, kind of thing.
yeah,
It's a mix between those two phenomenons. But with that being said, if you were to say like, all right, I'm going to this show this weekend and I'm not leaving until I land one business branding contract and I sell, 50 fucking prints,
yeah,
or I sell 10 new, like I'm going with 10 private shoots, but I'm not leaving until I sell on site to new people an additional 10, right? When you
yeah,
have those goals set up, it allows you to be more strategic with your time. It allows you to pick up conversations that you otherwise wouldn't have because it's top of your mind and you understand that you need to go. So like while you're sitting there talking to someone, and you overhear someone talk about a business they own, a shop they own, something else, now you're able to pick up on that noise because it's top of mind. Otherwise, it would have just passed you by because you're not unaware of it, and you're going to continue talking about fucking bitches or something else that you were.
No, it's funny. I whore myself out all the time. It'll be like if I hear someone talking about business, I'll be like, oh well, I'm a graphic designer if that's something you've been looking for, or a photographer. And like so many people need a graphic designer, but then that leads into doing photos and stuff like that. And then talk about the mindset. I mean, my goal when I go to these shows is to work my ass off and pretty much talk to as many people as I can. I don't really have like a set goal of like how much I want to make or how many things I have to sell. Mine is more of just like work my ass off. So I need to transition that goal into like more of, I guess essentially a number of maybe things I need to sell.
Yeah.
So I like that. I need the.
Yeah, you need to have the exact.
Like what's going to be my profit, and then after profit, like how much do I need to make to at least even out, and then how much do I want to make?
Yes.
So that way I hit that goal, and if I don't hit that goal, I need to fucking work harder. Then that's on me.
Like you don't fucking come home till you hit your goal, bitch.
Facts.
Like
that fuck. Bro, I will work until I drop dead.
Yeah. Well, don't do that. But that's the goal you need to have, and you need to like what gets measured gets managed. Like you need to fucking know what those numbers are, and you need to know where you're at, and because like, listen, obviously we're all here to build a legacy and stuff, but we're also here to enjoy the fruits of our labor too. So if your goal is like, all right, I need to have 10 private shoots set up before I ever even fucking get there. So like you ride with people to these shows the majority of the times, don't you?
Yeah, I'll split like an Airbnb with people, or if it's kind of like a local.
But like
show,
you actually sit in the car and ride with someone somewhere.
Yeah, some of these shows,
yeah. Like bro, like you need to be on your motherfucking phone though. If you don't have 10 set up by the time you get there, if you got 8, you need to fuck talking about are we there yet? Your head needs to be in your phone, landing 2 deals before you get there, because you know that you need to hit 10 before you get there, and you're only at 8. When you get to the show, you gotta land 10. And on day 1, you got to know whether or not you've had 2 booked, 4 booked, 6 booked, 8, because that way you know what you got to fucking do to hit your quota. Yeah. So like what gets measured gets managed. You need to fucking be you need to have laser fucking vision on these goals, and not only these goals, and what we'll call these goals is KPIs, key performance indicators. You need to know what these KPIs are, and you also need to know where you're sitting at, because otherwise you don't know what to fucking make up. And if you're out there just fucking spinning your wheels because you ain't keeping count, it might not be as serious for you. But once you realize, you're like, fuck, dude, it's 9:00 at night on day 1, and I gotta land 5 deals tomorrow. Now you're like, it's time to get my shit going. Yeah. And honestly too, like what my point behind that too is, once you have those KPIs and you have those goals and you know what you need to hit and what you don't need to hit, bro, if it's fucking day 2 and it's 2 p.m. and you are 6 deals away, you need to get your fucking ass to work. Yeah. But if it's 2 p.m. on day 2 and you hit your quota, you need to go get your dick sucked or something. You need to enjoy your time, bro. Like you need to go enjoy yourself and actually enjoy the fruits of your labor. You done made your money, you hit your goal. Yeah. And I'm not saying that like, I get it, hustle culture, this and that, but like, bro, like you want to go travel. Your goal, as we talked about in the beginning of the conversation, your goal is to get paid to travel. Yeah. That's fucking great and all. But like, what's the point if you hit your quota and you just keep cramming as much in? All right, cool. You landed an extra 2 deals. Yeah. Great. You landed fucking an extra $500 for Adam Cooper. But guess what? You didn't get time to enjoy jack shit. So what's the fucking point of getting paid to travel if you don't actually get to enjoy any of it?
Yeah, because I actually have to live in the moment and not just worry about work. Because then I'm just kind of missing out on the memories.
100% you are. And not only that, you start to lose that drive for what started this all in the beginning, because it's like, all right, great. You got an awesome opportunity to go to another truck event. They want to book you. But now Adam's like, man, that's just a fuck ton of work, man. I work all day long shooting pictures, and then I work all night long editing pictures. Like, it's just not worth it. Like, yeah, I might be able to make an extra 5 or 6 grand, but then that's 3 days away, 3 days out of my life.
Yeah.
I'm working 24/7. I don't enjoy it. So now, as you start developing a process that allows you to actually enjoy these, which is the whole reason you started this in the first place, now you're starting to talk about like actually building a life worth living.
Yeah, which is something I've been telling myself I really need to do because, I mean, you kind of know I'm pretty much a workaholic. Like if I'm done with something, I'm bringing out my laptop, I'm starting to upload photos, I'm editing photos. But
Yep.
like the thing with me, I enjoy it. It does that's work. Like photography doesn't really feel like work to me, which is good, but it's also toxic in its own sense because I'm always working.
No, I mean, I get it. Bro, you're preaching to the choir here. I mean, I obviously take time to enjoy my family time, but like, I agree, man. I get it, but at some point you didn't get into photography to work your dick into the dirt. You got into photography to, per your terms, get paid to travel the world. And so that's what you need to turn that into.
Yeah, 100%.
So,
I agree,
well,
dude.
do you have any last questions for me before we hop off here, bro?
Dude, no. I'm definitely gonna be hitting you up about the landing page. I think that should be a priority for my list.
Yeah.
Just for making my life easier and also getting more because I feel like that would be a great system because no other photographer does that.
Mm.
Everybody is like, oh yeah, just message me on Instagram and book it through there. No, I want a funnel system to where it's automated. You'll get messages, be like, hey, thanks for booking with me. And truly be a business owner, not be
Yep.
an employee. Because
100%, bro.
employee, not a business owner.
100%, bro.
So I
Awesome, dude.
agree. I
Do
like it.
what?
I said I like it. I like
Yeah.
it.
Hell yeah. Well, hopefully you got something out of this call.
Well, I think we're both gonna get something out of this call.
I love it. I love it. Awesome, bro. Well, man, I appreciate it, dude. And if you need anything else from me, just reach out. And for everyone watching, we appreciate y'all.
Yeah, thank you guys. I appreciate it.